Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Adam and today I'm back with some more World of Tank action. Well, it's been a little while, but I'm gonna go ahead and jump right back in with the tank review. Today we are reviewing the American Tier 5 heavy tank, the T1 Heavy. Now, my thoughts about this tank, just objectively, it's not a bad tank, tier for tier. It has a pretty nice gun, nice rate of fire, okay penetration. The armor is okay. It's okay. There's a lot of flaws in it, like most tier 5 tanks. So let's get down into the nitty gritty and actually look at this tank. So here this bad boy is right here. So as you can see, the weight load and the horsepower to ton ratio, let's see, it doesn't actually, oh yeah, well, no. But this tank is surprisingly mobile, fast, and just nice in that whole department. With the top engine, you know, you're running 960 horsepower with only a 58-ton tank. It's makes it pretty agile, and it was quite a surprise to me. Alright, so let's look at the armor, because that is where the heavy tanks are different from, you know, all the other tanks in the game, really. So, what do we have here? We have 83, 41, 40, or 83, 44, 41, so 83 in the strongest point in the front, 44 side, and 41 rear. Meaning, this tank does not have that good of armor. Now, this whole lower plate here is quite strong, very surprisingly so. You will bounce a lot of shells off of here. The only thing is, it's actually quite hard to miss this and hit this, which is extremely weak. This is the mid plate. It is flat and can easily be penetrated by tier 4 tanks even. And the rest of the tank is actually really flat, so you definitely have to do a lot of maneuvering in this tank to effectively bounce shots and protect yourself with your armor. So armor, not the strongest point of this tank, that is for sure. Let's go turret armor. So 102, 83, 83. So the turret isn't that weak, but it's extremely flat. The mantlet isn't that good, so if you're going up against higher tier tanks, it's not gonna do too much for you, so be careful of that as well. Now, what this tank does have is gun depression. It has a ridiculous amount of gun depression compared to Russian counterparts or just about any other tier 5 heavy tank. And that's what makes this tank really strong, because it gives the RA extremely agile tier 1 heavy tank, or T1 heavy tank, excuse me, even more flexibility, being able to use that gun depression for your advantage. But the only thing is, then you leave your turret at risk, and it's fairly easy to penetrate, so it's a risk-reward tank, but it's definitely strong. So let's take a look at the armament. It has a 76mm gun with a great fire rate of 16.7 rounds per minute. That is ridiculous. That is just an amazing fire rate for a T1 heavy, or a tier 5 tank in general. Your penetration, not extremely strong, but it's not that bad. You're looking at 177 with premium, and you know, you quite often do not have to shoot premium, so this tank it's good. It really is with the armament. It also has 115 alpha damage. And, oh, I just noticed that the premium rounds actually have lower alpha damage than the AP rounds. I did not... Oh, because it's APCR. Okay. But yeah, so this tank is pretty nice. It has punchy, and I have a little comparison here. This is the gun that the KV-1 has. So, KV-1 has a slower fire rate, a lot larger alpha damage, less penetration on both the standard and premium. So this tank is actually, in some respects, superior to the KV-1, but what the KV-1 has over this tank is more armor, and it's better sloped, and it's a lot more troll. So, 1 second, please. So, yeah, this tank isn't that bad. I would definitely suggest using its mobility. It is strong just because of that. And with it, you should be able to go through it with ease. And it has a DPM of 1,917 or so. That is with 100% crew and no benefits. So, what I run on this tank is kind of your standard repair, health, or med pack, and fire extinguisher. I do not believe I have caught fire in this tank, but it's a precaution that you want to take nonetheless. Now, let's go ahead and look at the research here. So, believe it or not, the tank isn't terrible stock. It's slow with the 700 stock horsepower, but it's not terribly slow. And then it goes to the M6, which is an also very strong tank, which I'll be getting soon and doing a review on, because I'm going through this American line quickly. So that is kind of the overview of this tank. It's good. It has not that strong of armor, but it makes up for that in kind of acting like a medium tank, honestly. It plays very much so like a medium tank with its vast superiority in mobility over other tier 5 heavies. It doesn't have as big of a gun, but it makes up for that in its higher fire rate and good pen with pretty good alpha damage as well. So that is kind of all I have for this tank, and well, I guess let's just get to the gameplay. Alrighty, see you in a second. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here is the gameplay. We are playing on Fisherman's Bay, and a very nice matchup with mainly lower tier tanks. I am platooned up with Draman, who is actually in the tank that I chose to compare this with, the KV-1. So, let's kind of speed up through this little first segment. Going to town, of course, to use my armor. And okay, let's slow this baby down. So as you can see here, the tank's not that slow. It's rocking the 35 to 38 kilometers per hour. Slightly downhill, yes, but yeah, it's pretty good. I'm honestly a big fan of this tank. I believe it's really strong, and if used right, it's pretty awesome. One thing I have to warn you guys, though, is the Ace Mastery Badge is quite elusive. I have gotten 1,100 and 1,200 games in this, and I still have not gotten it. So I guess I'm just going to have to play this tank better. So, yep, just kind of angling my armor here, as you can see. Not quite a 45-degree angle, just because I do not know where they're going to poke from. If they poke around the corner, I will kind of just know where that's going to happen from. And I'm going to have to kind of maneuver, but see that there really isn't many people here, so I'm going to start playing aggressive, push this tempo up, and kind of give these guys a little bit of surprise. So here we have a KV-1, and I shall show you guys the true weakness of most tier 5 tanks. As you see, I tried to hit the tracks, and I am just shooting his mid plate. And really, tanks aren't that strong in tier 5, and you don't really plan on it. So there, my kill was nabbed from me by Drummond and his stupid dirt gun, and I just kind of used my brake horsepower there to turn my tank. So as you guys can see, I have that neat little mod that tells me who shoots me and with what, and that's pretty neat. It's useful sometimes when you're getting shot blindly, but yeah, I see that our middle has kind of lost, so I'm pushing my pushing the tempo up towards that, And I start opening fire on this Stug. And here you can just see the ridiculous DPM of this tank. It just dishes out the hurt. That's all it does, is dishes out that hurt. And, yep, Martyr, 2 damage, whoop-de-doo. It was gonna die. So, here we actually get to see me brawling with some actual opponents here, finally. Some fellow T1 heavy tankers. And, but I feel that I'm kind of at an advantage here just because I feel that I play my strongest while I'm in a city area, and this guy's not looking at me, so I'm not worried whatsoever. I'm just unloading onto his side, and he's dead. He's dead, just like that. And see that little bison out there? Blind fire, picked it up. And I see another T1 heavy. Time to get brawling again. Maybe this guy will put up a little bit more of a fight. And this time, oh, have a side armor again. And deal with it handily. Alright, so T1 heavy. Get shot by the Hetzer with APCR. Luckily I bounce it. T40. I see that he is using not the derp gun, so I go ahead and repair because his non-derp gun fires fairly quickly with pretty good penetration. So, I'm just kind of chilling here so I can get some spots on, you know, the Hetzer, the T40, or the Arty. Because honestly, even though they're tier 4 tanks, they're pretty scary because they have good camera rating, while I do not. I'm a hulking beast, and they'll spot me way before I spot them. So as you can see here, the T40 and the Hetzer completely wiped out that medium 3 and that SU-85. So kind of I don't know if this is a misplay or not. I kind of want my team to help get the spot because I feel that I'm the strongest tank right now because I have the most armor. Get that spot and do not get a shot into that Hetzer, sadly. But I do have shots on that M41. And that is a nice shot. And clean it up. Alright, so my team is kind of just wilting, falling apart. I see that maybe I should be playing a little bit aggressive here, so kind of stop there to see if I could take a shot on that Hetzer. I could say that's a misplay because I'm out in the open and I do not have cover, but luckily for me, it wasn't. And he just happened to kill my driver right away. And as you can see, that T40 has that crazy reload speed. And I swear that that shot went right through that rock. But here you can see the halfway mediocre accuracy of this gun. It's not terrible, but it definitely has room for improvement. But I just clean up that T40. Alright, so I am still afraid of that Hetzer because I know that he's shooting APCR, and if he penned me, which he easily could with 101 millimeters of penetration that the APCR gets, it can kill me in one shot. And I do not want that because I could possibly have a Bradley Walters here, and that would be very fun and very awesome to post. So I kind of play a little bit passively here and kind of push my team, that Hetzer, the Arty, to push forward, maybe be a little cannon fodder for me. It's kind of a jerk move, but I believe that is the best, and seeing that I'm the strongest tank in this situation, that is the best play here. Because I do not know where this Hetzer is, and he's a dangerous tank, and he is a good player. So, anyway, I decide to play aggressive. I put my money where my mouth is and just go at him. And luckily for me, I am able to get this rock without actually being spotted or spotting him, so yeah. And there I spot the Hetzer. Oh, look at him, he's not actually using the derp, and I get that penning shot. And here, I'm like, oh, well, I know he could just make a fool of me. He could track me and just kill me really quickly. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna side scrape. That's what I'll do. And that penning shot, and oh my god, I get my Radley Walters stolen from me by an M7 Priest. Ugh. One of the most frustrating things I have ever happened, or that has ever happened to me in World of Tanks. It was just painful. I died a little inside, and I called that guy out on it in some private messages, and he didn't care. But I feel that if this tank is played properly, it is an absolute beast. It is a definite contender for the strongest heavy tank in tier 5. I don't know if it actually surpasses the extra armor and the extra damage that the KV-1 can put out, but with this tank's a little bit more mobility and just a little bit more versatility, I think it might take the cake for the strongest tier 5 heavy. And it also has really great penetration with a good gun. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope this was very thorough, and I showed you guys that the T1 heavy